So we've all heard about HPV. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is of course a virus, and it can be spread via skin-to-skin contact and during certain sexual activities, and it can cause most notably warts and also certain forms of cancer. But how does a virus cause cancer? Let's talk about it. So HPV, like most viruses, will break into our cells, it'll break open and spill out several different proteins and genetic material. What this material will do is it will ultimately enter the nucleus, and then the HPV genome will become integrated with the genome of the host cell. What this will do is then basically trick our own cells into producing viral proteins that will help HPV proliferate and reproduce. Some of these proteins that are produced are what we refer to as oncogenic or cancer-causing. This is because these oncogenic proteins degrade what we call our tumor suppressors. These are proteins within our body that are supposed to prevent cancer. Let's take a look at this diagram. Over here we have HPV proteins E6 and E7. E6 and E7 are special proteins that have the ability to degrade the tumor suppressors within our cells. HPV E6 degrades P53, which is a very important tumor suppressor. A lot of people refer to it as the guardian of the genome. E6 also goes on to promote expression of TERT, or telomerase reverse transcriptase. This is a catalytic subunit of telomerase, which actually leads to the immortalization of a cell line. E7, on the other hand, binds to and destroys RB. This is another very important tumor suppressor. The end result of all of this is the ultimate immortalization and increased proliferation of the HPV-infected cell. There's also genomic instability, which leads to increased probability of spontaneous mutations that will lead to cancer. What we're looking at here is a histologic preparation of cervical epithelium. This is considered normal. Over here, what we see is the same tissue, but what happens when it becomes cancerous. Note the atypical appearance of the cells, especially the nuclei. We call this coilocytic change, and also the appearance of little tiny vacuoles, if you look really close, within the nuclei, as well as if you look really close, you can see some perinuclear halos. If allowed to proliferate and expand, unchecked by the immune system, the cervical cancer can grow and cause all sorts of different problems. Most importantly, the risk of HPV infections and, of course, cervical cancer can be reduced with the use of HPV vaccines.